So we've heard about how to play the game and how it's going to work a little bit. Next is to look at the data sheets. So Warhammer Community has released an article going over a few of the data sheets for the Legions Astartes. All right, so this article is Legions Imperialis, a closer look at the Legions Astartes. Let's scroll through, get a little preview here. We're going to look at some data sheets, have some more cool artwork, see some paint schemes we've never had or never seen before, and a couple special rules. So before we get into this, my name is Alex Hune. You are watching One Up Painting. This is Epic News, where we cover all of the epic news. So subscribe, like the video, all that kind of stuff if you'd like to see more of this content. All right, it's the Horus Heresy. Brother fighting brother. Comrades at each other's throats. The galaxy split in twain. You know the deal. The battlefields of Legions Imperialis are home to many factions, but only two sides, loyalists and traitors. This is a great piece of artwork, or not artwork, but like photography here, showcasing all the miniatures from the Legions of Astartes that you get in the box. I really like the little Predator tanks; they look so cool. These varying alliances have mustered a desperate collection of very different forces, of which there are four represented in initially: the Space Marines of the Legions Astartes, the human soldiers of the Solar Auxilia, plus a strategic asset of the Night Houses and Titan Legions. Okay, so the Night Titan or the Night Houses is something that they haven't really focused on, but they are just separately, like they're a separate, distinct thing from the Titan Legions, and I'm really looking forward to the Night Houses because I want to get my hands on the little Imperial Knights. I think that'll be so cool to have. All right, the forces of the Legions. Space Marines bring mobile heavy infantry and hard-hitting tanks to the fray. Like everyone, their models are deployed in detachments, groups of models whose stats are represented by datasheets, as well as the Legion's Imperialis rulebook. These can be found in a helpful deck of detachment cards, which list the detachment's point cost, standard size, and any upgrades you can on one add on I'm sorry, add on one side, and their stats, weapon profiles, and special rules on the other. You can use the first side when building the army and the other while playing. Okay, so this is literally exactly the same as how we have it in normal 40K right now, where one side is your they don't have the points value on there, I guess, but they have like how you can load out the squad. Um, so then you kind of know while you're list building, and then the other one with all the straight up stats. So let's take a look at these stats. This is a data card for a Terminator detachment. Infantry 1, I guess I'm not quite sure what that means. Maybe like it takes up one infantry slot or something. I guess I don't know for sure. A Legion Terminator detachment consists of four Legion Terminator models. So when they say models, I don't know if they mean individual models or if they mean bases. I would assume bases because if we look here, one, two, three, four, five, so then that's like one base, two, three, four bases. So then it's like this is one detachment. I'm using air quotes, like detachment of Terminators. Um, Name Legion Terminators, movement five. Okay, so this is interesting. Now we know it's a movement of five. So if we remember from the last video, so you could either like choose to move and shoot, or advance or charge. If I remember correctly, advancing is you double the characteristic of your movement, and or maybe it was triple. I think maybe it was triple, and then charging was double your thing. I can't quite remember on that one, but the save is four up. CAF is a four. What does that mean? CAF. I think that might be like an initiative type thing. I don't remember exactly. Morale, three up. Wounds, one. Uh, ooh, ooh. Wounds, one. Does that mean each of these bases is one wound or each model is one? That's interesting. Legion combi bolters. Range 8 inches. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. That means you need to be close up to your enemies. But 8 inches range. Dice is one dice, five up to hit, zero AP, accurate, assault, light. Okay, wow. So that means if you're bringing this attachment, right, you're only rolling four dice then, if I'm reading this right, which I think that's cool because like less dice makes the game go faster. Um, so that's interesting. I think that's kind of cool, and it makes it more killy too because these guys would only have one wound then if it's per base. A Legion Terminator detachment can purchase one of the following upgrades: increase the detachment size by 2, 15 points. Increase the detachment size by 4, 30 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. So increase it by 2, 1, 2. So then you have 2, well, 4, 8, 12, 12 5-man Terminator blobs. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Wow. That's a lot of Terminators that you could be bringing. That's really cool though. Oh my goodness. And they said that each detachment is only 1,000, or no, not detachment. The structure that was above detachment. I forget what they call it, but it was 1,500 points, and that's only 80 points. Oh my gosh, this game, you're gonna need a lot of minis for this game. For example, oh my gosh, and these are Terminators too. These aren't even like your standard infantry. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be like a humongous game. All right. For example, a Legion Terminator detachment contains between 4 and 8 Terminators. Though they're tough as nails, and their close assault factor is 4+ to hits in melee. Okay, that's what that is. CAF, the close assault factor. It's 4+ to hit in melee. Special rules like implacable, meaning you only withdraw from combat if you want to, and invulnerable saves 6+, make them even harder to shift. Okay, so implacable meaning you can only withdraw from combat if you want to. There's a typo here too. They made that an uppercase, or maybe they meant to. I don't know. Um, that's interesting because does that mean if you're in combat, if my tactical squad was in with your tactical or detachment, I guess now my tactical squad detachment was in with your tactical squad detachment, that we couldn't pull out of combat, or it's only if you maybe the Terminators get to choose if they withdraw, like your enemy withdraws. Not sure exactly. Guess we'll have to find out. Legion Kratos Squadron. Again, oh yeah, I'm sorry I'm taking a little bit longer on this video. I want to really analyze, and so then you guys can all get the most information out of this video. Legion Kratos Squadron. Excuse me. Vehicle 2. I wonder what that means. Vehicle 2, but then this one only has Infantry 1. All right, name Legion Kratos, movement 8. What was the movement of this? 5. Okay, that's interesting. Save 2 up. CAF, close assault factor, 3 up. That's cool that the close assault factor for this is higher on a tank squadron. Because if you think about it, like tanks would just be rolling over guys anyway. Morale 3+, wounds 2. Weapons, I'm not going to read all these off. Let's just kind of take a look at some of the key stats here. Melta blast gun is 8 inches. That's interesting considering like a bolter is 8 inches here. Autocannon 16, battle cannon 10, 20. Oh wow, this battle cannon is really good. AP -4 if you're within 10 inches. Wow, this is that's cool. I'm noticing that this stuff does not have very much AP. Even the last cannon doesn't have AP, which is traditionally has a lot. Um, that's interesting too. The last cannon is easier to hit than an auto cannon. Interesting. Something else to note: these have arcs, so you are gonna have to be like cautious of where you're pointing your vehicles. So like I would assume that this vehicle can only shoot. Oh yeah, they have templates in this game too, so we'll be able to see like exactly where it could shoot, which I think is good. It adds like more tactical depth to the game. A Legio Kratos squadron consists of 2 Legion Kratos. Um, okay, so you can increase it by 1, 2, or 4. Wow, I have a feeling that this is going to be a very tank heavy game because it's going to have a lot of Like the more points you add in here, it's gonna like increase it quickly. But look at this. So you can increase this by 4, right? But so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Kratos tanks. 10 of these guys. That's crazy, man. Dude, it's just like playing with Hot Wheels as a kid or something, man. This is gonna be crazy. And that's only 350 points. Remember, you have to have a list or like two 1,500 point lists. Oh my gosh, dude, this is gonna be a humongous game. The Kratos is one of the heaviest tanks in the Legions of Astartes. And current, I'm sorry, the Kratos is one of the heaviest tanks the Legions of Astartes can currently bring to bear. And at 150 points for a squadron of 2, they're a pretty hefty prospect. They come with a range of weapons, including 2 big ticket turret options: the mid-range Kratos battle cannon and the close-up Melta blast gun. They do similar damage at close quarters, but the latter's bunker buster, trait can bring structures tumbling down. I'm so sorry, I get caught up in my words. Um, this was the Melta blast gun. Oh, cool. The bunker buster, armor bane, anti tank. Wow, there's gonna be a lot of special rules to remember in this. But that's cool that you can bring down the fortifications. I think that terrain being able to get shot at is something that should be implemented into Big 40K. So I'm glad that it's in here, at least. Legion Thunderhawk Gunship, Vehicle 2. So I wonder why it says Vehicle 2, because this is Vehicle 2, right? And it has 2 things here. This is Vehicle 2, but it only has 1 vehicle. Hmm. A Thunderhawk Gunship consists of 1 Thunderhawk Gunship. Moves 25 inches, 2 up save. Close assault factor is 0, morale none, and 2 wounds. So, so far it's interesting because none of these have damage characteristics. Maybe they're all just going to be damage 1. That I think that would make the game a lot more streamlined, because it's just like, oh, that went through, 1 damage gone. But I guess we'll have to see. Turbo Laser Destructor, range 40. Wow, that's really big compared to all these other ranges. Like, that's interesting. All right, so that's the big old cannon on the top. Um, Heavy bolters, Thunderhawk class cannon. Again, these are all having firing arcs. Oh, I wonder if the heavy bolters have the firing arcs on the vehicle. Hull mounted heavy bolters, arc front. Yeah, so these do have arcs still. There's still a front arc. The melta gun does not, though. I wonder if is that this gun? This little gun here? Maybe it's a turret weapon, not quite sure. Excuse me. The points is 150, same as these guys. Increase detachment size by 2, so you can bring in 3 Thunderhawks, and that's 430 points. Wow, that's pretty big. The Thunderhawk has been pulling taxi duty for Space Marines for more than 10,000 years, and it has a hefty profile befitting its status. You can cram up to 3 gunships into a detachment, and with a and with a 25-inch move and special rules including flyer, hover, and large assault transport 8, it's more of an Imperial party bus than a taxi. Large assault transport 8. Where does that say? Here it is. Largest assault transport 8. So maybe that's in reference to this. So 8 though? No, that wouldn't make sense, because yeah, okay, maybe it's not then. Um, I guess we'll just have to find out what that means later on. No, I'm sure we can deduct it from this. Large assault transport 8. Does that mean, can this thing really carry 8 4-man blocks of Terminators? Or 8 4, I don't know. I guess I don't know. That'll have to be clarified later. Respectively, these rules mean it can cross huge distances while ignoring terrain. It can stay on the battlefield between turns, and it can deliver up to 8 bulky troops, such as Terminators, into the heart of combat, and it allows them to charge order, which many transports do not. And it allows them a charge order, which many transports do not. No way, man. No way it can carry 8 squads of these guys. I guess I don't know how big this is, but still, that's kind of insane. Let me know in the comments if that sounds like correct. If they can transport 8 5-man blocks of Terminators. This artwork here is really cool. This is Dark Angels, if I'm not mistaken, before they go to their green coloring in the 40K setting. I also like this little piece of terrain right here. I don't know, something about it looks kind of cool. Legion's special rules. The Space Marine Legions are known for their favored tactics and specialism. All 18 have their own special rules. Importantly, each formation can be different from a different legion. After all, the biggest engagements saw multiple legions fighting shoulder to shoulder, giving you an extra tactical depth. White Scars Legion special rule: Born in the Saddle. All White Scars model with the Jink X special rule improve their Jink save, the number shown in the bracket, by 1 or I, i.e., a model with the Jink 6 would become Jink 5, etc., to the amount of 3 plus. So, what does Jink mean? So, this one has Jink. Maybe that is like an invulnerable save type. I'm not quite sure. I would assume that all flying models get that though. So any sort of flyers, obvious flyers, but more specifically hover bikes or jet bikes, I think is what they're called. But yeah, I think that that's really cool. I'm a White Scars player personally, so I think that that's really cool. The White Scars, for instance, are born in the saddle, increasing the Jink save of any units with that special rule. This is a type of save that certainly speedy models can use to dodge incoming fire, such as aircraft and jet bikes. So that's exactly what I just said. World Eaters Legion's special rule: Incarnate Violence. Whenever they make a fight roll, all World Eaters infantry, cavalry, and walker models can re-roll a single d6 when making fight rolls. That sounds pretty powerful. The World Eaters, would you believe it, have a rule called Incarnate Violence. It's quite simply a brutally effective. It's quite simple but brutally effective. They can re-roll one of the d6s in every fight roll they make. No one's getting a better. I'm sorry. No one's getting the better of these savages once chain blades are drawn. Salamander's Legion special rule: Strength of Will. When making a morale check, a detachment that contains only Salamander's models rolls 2d6 and chooses which result they prefer. In addition, all Salamander's detachments in the army gain the implicable special rule. What is this? Oh, okay, so they're just good at morale, but they also get implacable, which I think is the withdrawing thing where you get to choose if they withdraw. Again, still kind of unclear about that. The Salamanders have a good strength of will, which gives them an extra chance at every morale check and grants them implacable for a good measure. They aren't going anywhere unless you want them to. That's cool. This is just a snapshot of the power available to the Legions of Astartes. They may have more tricks up their sleeves and an arsenal to match. Whether they're fighting solo or alongside allies, Space Marines take to the field supported by squadrons of medium and heavy tanks, a barrage of artillery, stomping dreadnoughts, and sturdy flyers, among other things, and not limiting you to a single color scheme. That's really cool. I do think that that's nice that they're trying to integrate and encourage you to use multiple legions. That's certainly what I will be doing. Um, I like this basing scheme too. I actually just noticed this is a little bit. It's the same bases, but just a little bit different of a color scheme than what we've seen before. So I think this is pretty big. These things, especially now we know how the detachment systems are gonna work. Um, I don't really need to go over it because I did it in the video. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have more content on the way soon. And yeah, until then, happy wargaming.